the kicking sports. I'm afraid I'm not an
Oh,
expert in the kicking sport.
oh, what a horrible thing to happen in the year of Mike, to run jacks into aces. And with these stacks, I don't really see how this doesn't all end up in the middle pre-flop.
Yes, indeed. Take a look at the big blinds here now, guys. So opening off of a 35 big blind stack, and we got Mike in the big blind with just the 26.5 to start the hand. It is from earlier position. Mike could probably still get away with some flatting here, but he is one of the shorter stacks, James, and therefore might be tempted to just elevate right here, right now.
I don't think there's any flatting here. This is a committing 3-bet.
And Pass is going to be very pleased to
Ooh.
take a flop.
Cheeky. I'm not 100% convinced that a single overcard is going to save Mikansonis, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, SPR is so close to 1. We really are supposed to go broke here a fair amount. The king is obviously a bit of a scare card, as you say, James, but we'll see how Mikansonis feels. Starts with a nice small continuation bet, as you'd expect on this flop texture. The Tray King Tray Ultra Dry.
Okay, so now we're looking at a pot of nearly 620k, and Mikansonis has got less than 480k behind. I mean, if Mikansonis can avoid going broke here, I salute them, but going to be left on fumes, I'd imagine, after this part. It's like, this kind of feels like this is either going to be the end of the year of Mike or the penultimate chapter. The penultimate month. Late November.
This is the late November of the year of Mike here for Pocket Jacks.
Heading into very, very cold weather.
Yeah, and I just feel like we just keep calling, I guess, if you have the aces.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting run out now.
Yeah, see, that's actually a horrible card, right, for Mikansonis, though, right? Because now you discount your opponent from having the king.
It definitely makes it harder for them to have a king, absolutely. I guess the only thing I would say, though, James, is like a lot of the, open and then call 3-bet range will contain king X. I say a lot. I'd say a fair amount, right? Like, you're definitely going to want to have some king X suiteds in your defend versus 3-bet range. However, yeah, when this happens, your opponent does end up having, a fair amount of ace highs, and they do end up having perhaps a couple pocket pairs lower than jacks, especially having a flatted pre-flop. So this is a really, really tricky one for both players. Ace is probably quite happy just to call it down here in general, but it's just very hard for your opponent to have ace king, though, for the same reason why it's hard for your opponent to have a king when the river is the king here. Blockers aren't real, but let's see how the aces feel.
I mean, I predicted this was all going to go in pre. It didn't, but I think we're going to see the same result, as it were. I would be very surprised to see Pascal Lefrancois fold aces here. And if/when he makes the call, we are going to be saying goodbye to Mikansonis.
Yeah, I mean, the ace is also under-repped here as a call pre-flop, so your opponents can still be doing this with jacks and queens, and even potentially have some bluffs, I suppose. Does make the call. It is correct, and Mikansonis is eliminated. James, the payout for...
It was Joe who always read it as Big Deal O'Nelly, and when he came on the podcast as a super fan, we've kind of had that whole conversation, and ever since then, he has become Big Deal O'Nelly and will never be anything but.
It's a new chapter. I'm happy to accept that.
We've got ace-5 suited and king-queen suited here. Always good when you see two hands that might collide, when you can predict that there could be significant action. We have had the open from Neymar with king-jack, and just a flat from Pascal with the ace-5. And flop better Neymar, although flush draw for I Sense Blood.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get action, this is a great way to do it. King, queen, often the king and the queen live, as well as the clubs, pretty much always going to give us the best hand. Here, Neymar is going to be loving life. That might be one of the better ones on the turn for Neymar.
Don't worry about the flush draw now, and that's pretty brutal for Isense Blood, right? Who's like, great, top pair and a flush draw. I'm going with this.
Yeah, and I think the check is also really cute from Neymar too. This is a board we're going to check because we're giving up often. There's a lot of hands that we open here that we're just not going to want to see bet. I mean, not necessarily giving up, just check folding, but there's a lot of maybe smaller pocket pairs, maybe some ace king, ace queen, that kind of thing that doesn't just want to be blasting off into a queen jack suited in position. And as a result now, he has turned the boat. No bet on the turn, which I think, again, is probably okay. When we have this much of the texture, James, I feel like, the check is understandable. Having said that, we have a double flush draw on the turn. So actually, I think maybe missed a bet there with the king-jack. Your opponents are going to have lots of hands that could just call because they think they're winning. They have a lot of hands that can call because they can improve into the hearts of the clubs. And you want to be building that pot at this point. Your opponents can still have a jack. They can still have a king. And I just think that sometimes we fall into the trap a little bit of going, my hand's really big, so like, how is it possible anyone else has anything here? But I think there is probably a little bit more we could get from Blood. I'm starting to think, I do think perhaps, that's just a very strong way. Absolutely, and I think if we are going to do something there, it might end up being like a cold 4-bet, but I don't think it's something we should do often.
Kings for Neymar.
Oh, and I think pass is going to open up here. Yeah, queen jack of diamonds as a start. Like to see a tree bet here. 6 or 7 bigs probably is going to be enough. Right in the middle. Beautiful.
6.53.
6.53. What is that in chips? 228,500. Perfect.
Oh, what a dangerous flop, though.
Okay, very dangerous.
Yeah, open-ended and flush potential for Pascal Lefrancois. And he's not going anywhere. Do you think this is a raising spot with this hand?
I think it's hard to mess it up, James. You have so much equity; it's really difficult to get it wrong. There's value in the flat because you control the action to a certain degree. If you are up against the worst case scenario, like a set or perhaps an overpair, somebody more qualified than I, James, could tell you, how the ICM, would impact this. And I would say probably there's a good chance you want to play it slightly slower than you would if it was earlier in the tournament. But getting it all in with the streety, flashy draw here also probably never going to be the end of the world. Neymar goes kind of small flop and then sizes up turn quite considerably here.
Now turned a pair in addition to the straight and flush draws. I mean, you can't fold, right?
Yeah, I would say we're not folding yet. Decides to ship turn.
This is going to be a huge pot. These are the two biggest stacks.
Whoa!
And the board bricks out for Pascal Lefrancois.
He did a charity celebrity event. It was called...
Is this going to be the moment when Neymar loses $1 million?
Oh, wait, 1 second. Yeah, thank you for spotting that, James.
He's run jacks into queens here.
Catfish Billy, man, one of my favorite names in poker. 30 big blinds to start the hand. Does find a 3-bet. The size is 8 bigs, pretty standard from OOP.
I mean, from what I know of Neymar, he plays pretty aggressively. Maybe he does find a flat here, and I'll give him credit for that. But generally speaking, big pair. And also really likes to put pressure on his opponents. I kind of feel that this is you want to play for it all, let's play for it all type of situation.
I would be...
Does find the call.
Okay, just a flat. I would definitely be tempted to get this in.
And this is a classic jacks flop where you think, oh, all low cards, all's good in the world. No, you're up against an overpair. There we go. There's the all-in.
There it is.
And there's the call from Catfish Billy Man. And this is going to be a reversal of fortune.
A lot of sense. Getting a fold from that spot is very, 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 very cool for Isense Blood, though.
I thought we were going to see a lot more chips go in the middle on that flop and turn. But anyway, now we've got aces versus queens. Not my style is very short stacked, and I'm always suspicious. I know it's now become kind of pretty standard for players not to be just open jamming with like between 10 and 15 big blinds. But when someone opens with around 10 big blinds, to a min raise. I'm super suspicious.
You should be, James, especially in the lower stakes games because it's completely unbalanced, right? And if you go, I'll study this one later on, ignore. Just completely ignore because they're not doing at all what they should be in that spot. It's going to be so heavily weighted towards hands that they feel confident taking to a flop every time, which is going to be big pairs. Maybe even they might even just always jam ace king suited. That's how much tighter people are going to be in that position, as opposed to actually still having the min raises they're supposed to. And going to get at least a shot at a double here with the aces.
Yeah, very good chance of a double.
Yeah, I mean, James, even in my most recent really drill down into spin and goes for the challenge, if I actually filter specifically just for regs, even regs aren't min raising enough at these super shallow stack depths when we're three-handed, let alone when there's 7 other people at the table, 6 other people at the table, and you're under the gun. So that goes to show you how much it is skewed away from reality, or reality skews away from GTO, I should say. And yeah, here we go. Okay, top sets.
That's pretty decisive. You got the club for insurance as well. Not my style. Gets the full double up. Fun. I think it's adapted from a book. A little bit melodramatic in places, but really, really good. And has that kind of Rashomon vibe to it as well, in the sense that half the episode is told from the perspective of the mother, the other half is told from the perspective of the girlfriend. And sometimes the same scene plays out differently depending whose point of view you're seeing it from.
Yeah, and what is this one called?
The Girlfriend.
Oh, it's called The Girlfriend. Okay, cool.
Yes.
When you said The Girlfriend dropped on Amazon Prime, I thought you were suggesting that Skinner had forked out to buy a month of Amazon Prime.
Oh, no, I mean, not only does she pay for Amazon Prime, but every single bolt-on is available.
Oh,
so we
right.
get like MGM Plus,
right.
Paramount Plus. I mean, everything in there is like available, which is great.
All right, we're all in here, guys. It's 9s versus Ochos. Catfish decided to run this one.
And this is a virtual all-in for Catfish, Billy Man. 9s hold. That is the sense of blood. Oh, well, here we go. E-bar decides to make the move with ace-8.
That's exactly the amount that Catfish Billy Man has, by the way. Just to be extra trolly. King Queen's going to stick around.
You have to call as well, right? And at least see a flop.
Yeah. Yep, hands too good. Oh, never mind.
You can do that.
Or you can do that and hit the queen.
Absolutely. We know an 8's folded, and that ace on the river would have been a win for E-bar, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. That is going to be the move, and gets a fold in this case from a better hand. Oh, could be off to the races here. Star wins sub 20 bigs, ace king. Not my style with 10s. So is this going to go 3-bet jam, do you think?
I believe that is how it's got to happen. Yeah, pocket 10's too good. And your opponent only has about half your stack behind, a little bit less in fact. So I think it is just kind of a get in and hope for the best scenario. Often the 3-bet will be enough to take it down too, right? That's not just, we're not just always going to run into ace king. Sometimes their opponents will have to shove their 9s and their 8s and their 7s here. So I think we have to 3-bet and just assume that 10s are going to be good often enough. And it is a flip.
There's a flip, and 10s are holding. Oh. And that ace on the river, that appearance from Barry Greenstein is going...
Kind of getting towards the bottom end of what you really want to be jamming there in terms of offsuit kings, but it does feel like you're probably going to get extra folds with the pressure of the money on the FT, so I think it's going to be good as the covering stack. Won't cost you your tournament life yet, either, if you get it wrong, so seems good.
So Scallywag says, when are we going to give the players mics so they can trash talk each other? I want to hear Neymar make someone cry. As we've already established, when Neymar knocks someone out, they say, thank you very much, sir. This was the greatest poker experience of my life. But it's funny you talk about that, because I remember, as we see I Sense Blood just get it in small to big here with ace-9, and Neymar calls with king-5.
Oh, wow.
And spikes a king on the flop. And I Sense Blood gets it in good, but Neymar...
In the face of a lot of adversity, so claps for that.
Oh, and now it's queens, and could get a customer because Sixman has got ace 10 of strawberries.
Yep, Sixman might decide that he's going to be doing well enough against this range. And look, you'll see Starwinds, even with that short stack, doing kind of what I was suggesting earlier, James, right? Leaving a few bigs behind, but doing the effective shove. Sixman probably can just flat the 5 if he wants to play at all, but there are still quite a few players stacked behind. I would say it's quite conventional for him just to call because he's dominating so much of this range now. And to the flop we go.
Okay, well, queen's still ahead. The wheel draw, backdoor flush draw for his opponent. And Starwinds made the virtual all-in move pre-flop. The rest goes in on the flop. There's the call. And there is Barry Greenstein again. An ace on the river to give
What we can do.
It's something that we commented on last week, Nick, when we were streaming the last event that we covered together. Oh, we got 4s all in against Queen Jack. Open-ended. Queen on the turn. Of course, Neymar wins another flip. And it sucks for Neymar.
Go, Neymar, go. Go, Neymar, go, Neymar, go.
Keaty asking about how many bullets these players fired. I know that there are certain people who don't like the bullet shaming, Sam Grafton being one of them. But in this instance, no, I mean, it's not intended to shame, by the way, just reality. Oh, King 3 all in against Jack 10 and a 10 on the flop. Jack on the turn, and it's all over for Ebar.
That's right.
So Ebar, look at the dynamic now. And psychologically, how is that going to affect Neymar? That you felt that like you've been in control of this final table the whole time. Okay, things didn't go 100% your way three-handed, but you still came into heads up as the chip leader. You were still the favorite, and now look, massive dog and not deep stacked anymore.
Yeah, he might even check raise the King 5 here. Yeah, this is a very cute check raise. It's just going to be so hyper effective as well. Having the King of Spades in hand here just precludes your opponent from having so many of the biggest combo draws, blocking King Jack, blocking King Queen. It was a particularly small check raise. I think maybe we could have afforded to go maybe up to like 3, but see how it plays from here now. Check, check. Check. Neymar wins it. Very nice.
Okay.
Okay. Chosen to check raise your hand on that texture. It's rough.
Oh, this could be it.
This could be
This
the spot.
could be it. Ace 3 feels like a button shove, and 8s is a snap call. And Neymar's going to need an ace. Barry Greenstein does not arrive, and that will do it, Nick.
That'll do it. So we do have a victor. That was not my style. First place finish, 129,004.